Cold open. Dave Okonkwo was elbow deep in a clogged garbage disposal when the recruitment email landed in his spam folder. He was 44, divorced, a plumber from Ohio who once spent 6 hours in a sewage tank because a raccoon had questionable priorities. His daughter's science fair project was due in 2 days, and he still hadn't found glitter glue. The email subject line read, Galactic Coalition, Hazard Pay. Opportunity, humans wanted, unclear reason. He almost deleted it. Then he saw the number attached, enough to pay off the house, fund college, and buy the good kind of glitter glue. Vague, dangerous, and pays well, Dave muttered, wiping his hands on his jeans. Sounds like every job I've ever had. He hit reply. Sure, when do I start? Somewhere 400 light years away, an alien recruiter stared at the response and set down his drink. Warning scene. The recruiter's name was Tholrek Vess, a slate-skinned coalition officer with 3 extra vertebrae and a face built entirely for disapproval. He appeared on Dave's kitchen screen looking like a man who had seen things. Human Okonkwo. This assignment involves a Class 9 hazard world, radiation storms, gravitational anomalies, predatory fauna larger than your dwelling. 91% of contracted specialists do not complete the mission. Dave sipped his coffee. 9% do. That statistic should alarm you. I once wrestled a water heater off a guy's foot in a flooded basement during a tornado warning. Statistics, and I don't really talk anymore. Tholrek's eye ridges twitched, the alien equivalent of a slow blink of disbelief. You do not comprehend the scale of what awaits you. Buddy, I've cleaned a Golden Corral bathroom on Super Bowl Sunday. I comprehend plenty. The screen flickered as Tholrek prepared to disconnect, his voice dropping into something almost like pity. Very well, Human Okonkwo. Report to Extraction Point 7 at dawn. A pause. Don't blame me if you come back in a box. Dave grinned and finished his coffee. Wouldn't be the weirdest way I ever quit a job. Squad introduction. Extraction Point 7 turned out to be a shimmering ring of light in an Ohio cornfield, which Dave found only slightly more unusual than his ex-wife's lawyer. He stepped through and found himself in a steel briefing, bay aboard the coalition vessel, Ash Cinder staring at the rest of his squad. First was Gwankamboskau, a 7-foot Kralin warrior with bark-like skin that shifted color with mood, currently a deep unimpressed gray. Voska had survived the siege of Umbra Hall, a 3-year war fought entirely underground against a hive species that ate light. His resume included 42 confirmed hive queen kills and 1 medal that translated roughly to wall that would not fall. Second was Gan Dr. Ilith Sarnarer, a slender, iridescent-scaled xenobiologist from a species that communicated partly through bioluminescent pulses. She'd mapped the toxin structures of 400 unique alien predators and once neutralized a plague outbreak using nothing but reverse-engineered enzyme chains. Her fingers, 8 of them, thin as reeds, never stopped moving, even at rest. Third was Commander Threxon, a hulking, 4-armed tactician whose species evolved on a planet with triple gravity. Threx had commanded fleet actions against 3 separate hostile empires, held 2 galactic combat titles, and possessed a jaw that could reportedly crack duranium plating. And then there was Dave. No armor plating, no bioluminescence, no 12 confirmed void kills. Just a windbreaker, a toolbox he'd smuggled through customs because you never know, and a thermos of gas station coffee. Voska's skin flushed a disbelieving shade of orange. This is the specialist command selected? Apparently, Dave said, setting his toolbox down. I fix things. I was told there'd be things to fix. Dr. Sarn's fins pulsed a curious blue. Your species has no natural armor, no venom glands, no enhanced musculature. Your homeworld's gravity is, she checked a readout, alarmingly weak. How did your kind survive predation? Dave shrugged. Mostly spite, casseroles, and community potlucks. Threx crossed 2 of his forearms. That is not a survival strategy. Tell that to my Aunt Carol. Woman's outlived 3 husbands and a house fire. The squad exchanged glances that translated across 4 different species. All meant roughly the same thing. This is going to be a long mission. None of them yet understood that Unremarkable was doing an enormous amount of quiet, load-bearing work. Comedy escalation loop. The planet, designated Krivos 9, experiences Electromagnetic storms capable of frying neural implants at range, Threx announced, pulling up a tactical display crackling with red warning glyphs. Dave nodded slowly. So lightning. It is considerably more. We get storms in Ohio that knock out the whole grid for 3 days. My neighbor's cat still won't go outside during thunder. Lightning's lightning. Voska's skin flickered orange with alarm. This lightning of yours, and how many are lost to it? Depends on the year. Mostly it just means bad Wi-Fi. The squad said nothing for a long moment. The atmosphere contains spore clusters that dissolve organic tissue within minutes of contact. Dr. Sarn said, voice pulsing with clinical urgency. Like poison ivy, Dave said. My ex-wife's garden had a patch that put my brother-in-law in urgent care for a rash so bad he cried at a barbecue. Dr. Sarn's fin strobed rapid amber, her species' version of horrified fascination. Your kind cultivates a plant that dissolves flesh near your dwellings. We don't cultivate it. It just shows up. Like in-laws. Host apex predators known as ravage wolves, Voska said grimly. Pack hunters, 6 meters at the shoulder. They coordinate ambushes with tactical precision. Dave considered this. So geese. You ever been chased across a parking lot by geese? Coordinated, merciless, no negotiating with them. Threx's jaw tightened. These creatures can remove a limb in a single strike. So can Canada geese, philosophically speaking. The terrain includes gravity wells that can compress, a body to paste in. Under a second, Threx said, voice flat with warning. Dave whistled low. Like a bad elevator. The squad stared. Bad elevator, Dr. Sarn repeated, pulses flickering in confusion. You have devices that crush your own kind. No, I mean the ones that drop a floor and your stomach goes up into your throat. Every office building's got one. Nobody trusts the maintenance schedule. This is not the same phenomenon. Feels the same when it happens to you. There are pressure zones that will collapse an unshielded torso instantly. Voska said, tension rising in his voice now. This is not a comparison you can make, human. Dave thought about it seriously this time. Actually, yeah, Black Friday. Front doors of a Walmart. 2011, I still have a knee that clicks. Dr. Sarn's fins pulsed white, full alarm now. Your species willingly enters compression events. For commerce. 60% off a flat screen. You'd understand if you'd seen the flat screen. By the 5th round, the squad had stopped arguing and simply started writing things down. Arrival and world reveal unfolded beneath the shuttle like a wound. The sky churned a bruised violet, split by static white, lightning that struck in horizontal ribbons, instead of falling straight down. The ground was a cracked, glassy black, still radiating heat from some ancient impact, and jagged crystalline spires jutted from the terrain like broken teeth. In the distance, something enormous moved beneath the crust, and the whole horizon rippled. The moment the shuttle doors opened, Voska's armor display lit up red, his cooling systems already whining in protest. Dr. Sarn's environmental suit hissed and recalibrated twice in the first 10 seconds. Her bioluminescent, skin flaring erratically under the storm's electromagnetic bleed. Threx, strongest of them all, staggered half a step as the gravity well shifted, his forearms bracing against a boulder that groaned under the pressure change. Dave stepped out in his windbreaker, squinted at the horizon and zipped his jacket up halfway. Bit brisk, he said. Brisk, Threx repeated, voice strained through gritted teeth as his suit's servos fought the gravity fluctuation. Human, your vitals. How are your vitals? Dave checked the cheap plastic watch on his wrist, the one his daughter got him for Father's Day. Steady, little cold on the ears is all. Dr. Sarn's suit chimed a distress tone. She silenced it with visible effort. Explain. Your species has no augmentation, no adaptive physiology on record. This world should be lethal to you within moments. Dave shrugged, hands in his pockets, watching the horizon ripple with mild professional interest. The same look he gave a basement that might or might not flood. Grew up doing roof work in an Ohio winter with no gloves 'cause I lost 'em. This is basically Tuesday. None of them laughed this time. Somewhere behind his translator glazed eyes, Voska began for the first time to wonder if the squad had gravely misjudged something. The spore fields. The squad suited up in triple-sealed containment, geared across the corrosive spore fields. Dr. Sarn had warned about full-body suits, pressurized seals, decontamination protocols timed to the second. It took 40 minutes to prep. Dave walked through in his windbreaker with a bandana tied over his mouth, the same one he used for sanding drywall. "You cannot be exposed to this atmosphere," Dr. Sarn said, voice sharp with panic through her suit's speaker. "I've breathed worse doing insulation work in a crawl space. This is basically potpourri." He crossed the entire field in the time it took the squad to finish their decontamination checklist. Dr. Sarn's sensors confirmed disbelievingly that his tissue samples showed zero degradation. The Ravage wolf pack. 6 massive predators, the geese, encircled the squad's camp at dusk. Growling low, coordinating in flanking patterns Voska recognized from military doctrine, the squad raised weapons. Threx called for a defensive formation. Dave stood up, grabbed a pot lid and a metal spoon from his gear, and started banging them together while yelling in a flat, unbothered voice. Hey, get out of here, go on!" The pack, utterly unprepared for an unafraid, loud a rhythmic biped, broke formation and fled into the dark. Voska lowered his weapon slowly. They retreated. "Works on raccoons too," Dave said, sitting back down. "Confidence and noise. Works on 90% of things that want to eat you." The Gravity Well Canyon. The squad's readings showed a canyon riddled with unstable gravity wells, invisible pockets, capable of crushing a body instantly. Standard protocol required probe mapping every meter, a process expected to take 3 days. Dave walked to the canyon edge, picked up a rock, and tossed it in a few different spots, watching where it fell normal and where it vanished with a sick crunch of compressed matter. "Yeah, don't step there, or there," he said, pointing. "Rest looks fine. Same trick my dad taught me for walking on river ice. Test before you trust it." The squad crossed in 20 minutes. The signal tower. A coalition communications relay had gone dark atop a spire racked by the planets, electromagnetic storms, and the lightning Dave had dismissed on day 1. Every attempt to approach it with shielded gear had failed. The storms fried circuitry on contact. Threx's engineering log recorded that night read, "Personal entry, Commander Threx, Day 10. The human climbed the spire unshielded during an active storm, using what he called rubber-soled boots and a wrench. He restored the relay in 11 minutes by striking the housing twice and reseating a component with his bare hand. My translator does not have a word in any of our tongues for what I am currently feeling. I believe the closest human term, which he taught me yesterday, is, well, that tracks." When Dave climbed back down, soaked and faintly smelling of ozone, Voska asked, voice quieter than before, "Are you not afraid of anything?" Dave thought about it. "Spiders in the shower. That's about it. Status flip." By the second week, something had shifted. Dr. Sarn began logging Dave's tissue responses not as anomalies, but as a baseline to compare danger against, recalibrating her threat assessments around, "Does this bother the human even a little?" Threx stopped issuing tactical orders before Dave weighed in. Voska, once orange with disbelief, now simply asked quietly, before every hazard, "Human, is this a bad one or a lightning one?" They'd stopped seeing him as fragile. Not because he was strong in the way they understood strength. No armor, no venom, no augmented muscle. He was just built different, weathered by a lifetime of small, relentless disasters that never made the news. "You are not what we expected," Voska finally admitted around the fire. Skin settling into a calm, steady green, and the color Dave had learned of respect. Dave poured more coffee. "Nobody ever is, buddy. That's kind of the whole deal with people." Cliffhanger close. That night, Dr. Sarn's sensors picked up something new, a signal, pulsing from beneath the planet's crust, far larger and more organized than any predator on record. Not animal, not storm, structured. "That is not natural," she said, voice tight. Fins flickering a color none of them had seen before. "That is a language pattern." Threx's 4 hands tightened around his weapon. "Krivos 9 was flagged uninhabited. Guess somebody forgot to update the file," Dave said. Standing slowly, eyes on the horizon as the ground gave a low, distant groan like something enormous and very old beginning to wake up. Voska's skin drained to a color they'd never seen before either. "Human," he said quietly. "What do your people call this?" Dave didn't answer right away. For the first time since Ohio, he didn't have a comparison ready.